Christopher Joan Francis Boones, but I'm actually Joseph Diaz. I'm the lead in the play that we're doing, Curious Into the Dog and the Bride, Curious Into the Dog in the Nighttime.
After midnight, the dog was lying on the grass in the middle of the lawn in front of Mrs. Shear's house. Its eyes were closed. It looked as if it was running on its eye the way dogs run when they think they're chasing a cat in a dream. But the dog was not running or asleep. The dog was dead. There was a garden fork sticking out of the dog. The dog was called Wellington. It belonged to Mrs. Shears, who was our friend. She lived on the opposite side of the road, 2 houses to the left.
Get away from my dog!
My name is Christopher John Francis Boone. I know all the countries of the world and the capital cities, and every prime number up to 7,507. Minutes, a policeman arrived. He had a big orange leaf stuck to the bottom of his shoe, which was poking out from one side. This is good, Christopher. It's quite exciting. I like the details. They make it more realistic. He squatted down next to me. He said to me,
"Would you like to tell me what's going on here, young man?"
I do not tell lies. Mother used to say this was because I was a good person. But it is not because I am a good person, it is because I can't tell lies.
The dog is dead.
I got that far?
I think someone killed the dog.
How old are you?
I'm 15 years, 3 months and 2 days.
And what were you doing in the garden?
Talking to you.
Okay. What were you doing in the garden in the first place?
I was holding the dog.
Why were you holding the dog?
I like dogs.
Did you kill the dog?
I did not kill the dog.
Is this your garden fork?
No.
Are you sure? Young man, I understand that you're very upset, but I'm gonna ask once again. Did you kill the dog? Terrific. Young man, I'm gonna need you to stop making that noise and to stand up calmly and quietly. Marvelous. Just I'm arresting you for assaulting a police officer. Now I strongly advise you get in the back of that police car, because if you try any of that monkey business again, you little brat, I'm seriously going to lose my rag. Is that understood?
I find people confusing. This is for 2 main reasons. The first main reason is that people do a lot of talking without using any words. Siobhan says that if you raise one eyebrow, it can mean a lot of different things. It can mean, I want to do sex with you. I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I did not use those words, Christopher.
Yes, you did. At the 12th of September at first break.
And it can also mean, I think what you just said was very stupid.
Could you take the lace off your shoes, please? Yes. Yes, your shoes. Take off your laces. Thank you. Could you empty your pockets, please?
Is that in case I have anything in them that I can use to escape, kill myself, or attack a policeman with?
That's right.
I have a Swiss Army knife, but I only use that for doing odd jobs, not for hurting people or stabbing things.
Jolly good.
A piece of string, a piece of wooden puzzle, 3 pellets of rag food for
Thank you. Could you take your watch off, please?
No.
Excuse me?
I need my watch to know exactly what time it is.
Christopher, I'm going to ask you for a final time. Will you take your watch off? Take it off. Give it here. Ah! It's alright, you keep it. Do you have any family, Christopher?
Yes.
Can you tell me who that is?
Father and mother, but mother is dead. There's also Uncle Terry who lives in Sunderland. He is my father's brother. I also have grandparents, but 3 of them are dead as well. And there's Grandma Bertie who lives in the home because she has senile dementia and thinks I'm someone on the television.
Right, lovely. Do you know your father's phone number?
I could see the Milky Way as we drove through the town centre.
Could you?
Most people believe that the Milky Way is a long array of stars, but that's not true. Our galaxy is a huge disk of stars that's billions and billions of light years away, and the Milky Way is somewhere along the outer edge of that disk.
Terrific.
Christopher, Mr. Boone, could you come this way, please?
Are you going to interview me and record the interview?
I don't think that would be necessary. I've spoken to your father, and he says that you did not mean to hit the policeman. Did you mean to hit the policeman, Christopher?
Yes.
But you didn't mean to hurt the policeman.
No, I didn't mean to hurt the policeman. I just wanted him to stop touching me.
You do know that it is wrong to hit a policeman.
Yes.
Did you kill the dog, Christopher?
I did not kill the dog.
Do you know that it is wrong to lie to a police officer?
Yes.
Do you know who killed the dog?
No.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yes, I always tell the truth.
Right, I'm going to give you a caution.
Is that going to be like a piece of paper or certificate I can keep?
No. A caution means that we're going to keep a record of what you did. That you hit a policeman, but it was an accident, and you did not mean to hurt the policeman.
But it wasn't an accident.
Christopher, please.
If you get into any more trouble, we will take this record out and see that you have been given a caution, and you will take things much more seriously. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes!
The second main reason is that people often talk using metaphors. These are examples of metaphors.
I'm going to seriously lose my rival.
He was the apple of her eye.
They had a skeleton in their closet. We had a real pig of a day. The dog was stone dead.
The word metaphor means carrying something from one place to another, and it is when you describe something by using a word for something that isn't. This means that the word metaphor is a metaphor. Wow, that is clever.
It is true.
Yes. I think it should be called a lie because a pig is not like a day. People do not have skeletons in their closets. And when I try to make a picture of the phrase in my head, it just confuses me because imagining an apple in someone's eye doesn't have anything to do with liking someone a lot. It makes you forget what the person was actually talking about.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I didn't kill Wellington.
I know. Christopher, you have to stay out of trouble.
I didn't know that I was going to get into trouble. I went to say hello to Wellington, and then when I found out that someone had killed him, I found out that someone had killed him.
Christopher, just try to keep your nose out of other people's business.
I'm going to try and find out who killed Wellington.
Were you not just listening to what I was just saying?
Yes, I was listening to what you were saying, but when someone gets murdered, you have to find out who did it so that person can be punished.
It's a bloody dog, Christopher. A bloody dog.
I think dogs are important too. I think some dogs are more clever than some people. Steve, for example, who comes to school on Thursdays, needs help eating his food, and he probably could even fetch a stick.
I said leave it, Christopher.
I wonder if the police are going to try and find out who killed Wellington and punish him.
I said leave it!
Are you sad about Wellington getting killed?
Yes, Christopher, yes. You can very well say that.
Mother died 2 years ago.
Christopher, I'm afraid to tell you this, but your mother's in the hospital.
Can we visit her?
No. She needs rest. She needs to be on her own.
Is it a psychiatric hospital?
No, Christopher. It's an ordinary hospital. She has a problem. A problem with her heart.
We would need to take food to her.
Right. I'll take some to her during the day while you're at school, and then the doctors can give it to her.
But you can't cook.
Fine. I'll buy some ready-made stuff from Mark and Spencer. She likes those.
I'll make her get well card. If I make her a get well card, can you bring it to her tomorrow?
How are you today, Christopher?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's good.
On the bus to school today, I saw 4 red cars in a row.
4?
Yes, so today is a good day.
Great. I'm glad.
I'm going to try and find out who killed Wellington today, because a good day is a day for projects and planning things.
Who is Wellington?
Wellington is my neighbour Mrs. Shear's dog, and last night someone had killed him by putting a garden fork through him. Then the police came and thought that I had killed him, but I hadn't. Then he tried to touch me, so I hit him, and then he went to the police station.
Gosh.
Yes, so I'm going to try and find out who killed him, even though Paula told me not to.
Did he?
Yes, but I don't always do what I'm told.
Why is that?
Because when people often tell you what to do, it's usually confusing and does not make sense. For instance, people often say to be quiet, but they don't say how long to be quiet for.
No. Why has your father told you not to find out who killed Wellington, Christopher?
I don't know.
Christopher, if your father's told you not to do something, I think you should listen to him. Well, we're meant to be writing stories today, so why don't you write about what happened to Wellington?
Okay, I will.
I can help you.
Can you help me with the grammar? And the spelling? And the footnotes?
Christopher, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your mother's passed away. She's had a heart attack. It wasn't expected.
What kind of heart attack?
I don't know what kind of heart attack, Christopher. Look, now isn't the time to be asking questions like that.
It was probably an aneurysm.
I'm really sorry, Christopher.
That evening, I went round to Mrs. Shear's house and knocked on the door and waited for her to answer it.
I came to tell you that I didn't kill Wellington, and I'm going to try and find out who did.
Christopher, I really don't want to see you right now.
Do you know who killed Wellington?
Can you go now, Christopher?
Can I look in the garden and see your garden fork?
If you don't go now, Christopher, I will be forced to call the police.
Reverend Patus, where is heaven?
I'm sorry, Christopher?
In our universe exactly, where is it?
Well, it's not exactly in our universe. It's another kind of place altogether.
But there isn't any other place altogether, unless you go to a black hole. But a black hole is just a singularity, so if heaven was on the other side of a black hole, then dead people would have to be fired into space in a rocket ship, and that doesn't happen or else people would notice.
Well, when I say it's outside our universe, it's really just a matter of speaking. What I mean to say is that they're with God.
But where is God?
Christopher, I'm sorry, I don't have enough time for this today. Can we please talk about this on another day?
The next day was Saturday. There was not much to do on a Saturday unless Father takes me on an outing, so we went to the boating link to the garden centre. But on this Saturday, England was playing Romania at football, which meant we weren't going to go on an outing because Father wanted to watch the match on television.
That's what I'm talking about, England!
So I made a decision. I've decided to do some more detecting. I've decided to go out on my own.
Ding dong.
Do you know who killed Wellington?
Who are you?
I'm Christopher Boone, I'm from number 36, and I know you. You are Miss...
Ding dong.
Do you know who killed Wellington?
I haven't a bloody clue. Ding dong.
Do you know who killed Wellington?
No, I don't. Sorry. Ding dong.
Did you see anything suspicious?
No! Ding dong. Ding dong. Ding dong, 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 ding dong.
Do you know anything about Wellington getting killed?
Bloody hell. Policemen sure getting younger nowadays.
Do you know anything about Wellington getting killed?
I'm afraid you're gonna have to say that again. I'm a little deaf.
Do you know anything about Wellington getting killed?
Yes, I heard about it yesterday. Dreadful.
Do you know who killed him?
No, I don't.
Well, somebody must know because the person who killed Wellington knows they killed Wellington unless they were a mad person who had amnesia.
Well, I suppose you're probably right.
Thank you.
You're Christopher, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
We haven't spoken before, have we?
No, I usually don't talk to strangers, but I'm doing detective work.
I see you every day going to school on your school bus. It's very nice of you to stop by and say hello, even if it is only because you're doing detective work.
Thank you.
I have a grandson your age.
My age is 15 years, 3 months, and 3 days.
Well, almost your age. You don't have a dog, do you?
No,
You'd like one, wouldn't you?
I have a rat.
A rat.
His name is Toby.
Oh.
Most people don't like rats because they think they carry strange diseases like bubonic plague, but that's only because they used to live in sewers. And were stolen on ships coming from foreign countries where they had strange diseases. The rats are actually very clean.
Yes. Would you like to come in for some tea?
I don't go to strangers' homes.
Well, maybe I could bring the tea out here. Do you like lemon squash?
How do you like orange squash?
Luckily, I have some of that as well. And what about Battenberg?
I don't know because I don't know what Battenberg is.
It's a kind of cake with marzipan icing around the edge.
Is it a long cake with a square cross section that can be cut and divided into equally alternately colored squares?
Yes, I guess you could describe it like that.
I think I like the pink squares but not the yellow squares because I don't like yellow and I don't know what marzipan is, so I don't know if I like that as well.
Well, I'm afraid marzipan is yellow too. Perhaps I should get us some biscuits. Do you like biscuits?
Yes, some sort of biscuits.
Okay, I'll get us a selection.
She moved very slowly because she was an old lady and she was inside the house for more than 6 minutes. And I began to get nervous because I didn't know her well enough to know whether she was telling the truth about getting orange squash and Battenberg cake. And I thought she might be ringing the police and that I'd get into much more serious trouble because of caution. So I walked away.
Why would you kill a dog?
I wouldn't.
I think you would only kill a dog if A, you didn't like the dog, or B, you were a mad person, or C, you wanted to make Mrs. Shears upset.
Well, I have a grandson your age. Do you like biscuits?
I think I like the pink squares but not the yellow squares because I don't know if I like that as well.
Well, I'm afraid marzipan is yellow too. Perhaps I should get us some biscuits. Do you like biscuits?
Yes, some sort of biscuits.
Okay, I'll get us a selection.
I don't know anybody who didn't like Wellington, so if it was A, it was probably a stranger. And I don't know any mad people either, so if it was B, it was also probably a stranger.
Right.
So the murderer must have been known to Mrs. Shears. In fact, you're most likely to be murdered by a member of your own family on Christmas Day.
Is that a fact?
Yes, actually, it is a fact. So therefore, the person who killed Wellington must have been known to Mrs. Shears. I only know one person who didn't like Mrs. Shears, and that is Mr. Shears, who divorced Mr. Shears and lived to move somewhere else. This makes Mr. Shears my prime suspect.
Christopher.
I'm going to find out more about Mr. Shears.
Mr. Boone, nobody's ever taken an A-level in the school before.
Then he can be the first thing.
I don't know if we have the facilities to allow him to do so.
Then get the facilities.
I can't treat Christopher differently than any other student.
Why not?
Because then everyone will want to be treated differently.
So,
It will set a precedent. Christopher can always take his A-levels later when he's 18.
don't you think Christopher is getting a crap enough deal without you stepping all over him? Jesus! This is the one thing he's really good at!
Maybe we should talk about this later on our own.
Are there things in which you two are very safe on me, Christopher?
No, it's not that.
Say them now then.
If Christopher sits in A-level, then he will have to have a member of staff looking after him in a separate room.
That's it. 50 quid, is that enough?
Mr. Boone,
I'm not taking no for an answer. Where have you been?
I've been out.
I've just had a phone call from Mrs. Shears. What were you doing walking around your garden?
I was doing investigating to try and find out who killed Wellington.
How many times I tell you, Christopher? Keep your nose out of other people's business.
I think Mr. Shears killed Wellington.
I will not have that name mentioned in my home.
Why not?
That man is evil.
Does that mean that he could have killed Wellington?
Jesus wept.
I know you told me not to go into other people's business, but Mrs. Shears is a friend of ours.
Well, she's not a friend anymore.
Why not?
Okay. I'm going to say this for the last and final time. I'm not going to repeat myself. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Okay? Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're not to go ask Mrs. Shears who killed that bloody dog. You're not to go ask anyone who killed that bloody dog. You're not to go trespassing on anyone's gardens, investigating on who killed that bloody dog. Do you understand me, Christopher? Christopher, I'm going to make you promise me. And you know what it means when I make you promise me.
I know.
Promise me, Christopher.
I promise. So it's finished!
Well, Christopher, if your father has told you not to do something, I think you should listen to him because he probably has a good reason. You should be very proud of what you've written so far because, well, it's great.
It's very short.
Well, some good books are very short.
It does not have a proper ending.
Why not?
I never found out who killed Wellington, so the murderer is still at large.
Not all murders are solved, Christopher. Not all murderers are caught.
But I don't like the idea that he can still be out there, especially when I go for my walks at night.
I don't think that's going to happen, Christopher.
Father said that Mr. Shears is an evil man, and that I was not to mention his name in the house, so I think that Mr. Shears could have killed Wellington. I'm going to find out more about Mr. Shears.
Christopher, I think you should do what your father tells you.
What happened to you the other day?
What day?
I came out again and you were gone. I had to eat all the biscuits myself.
I went away.
I gathered that.
I thought that you were going to ring the police.
Why on earth would I do that?
Because I was poking my nose into other people's business, even though Father told me not to.
You're very shy, aren't you, Christopher?
I'm not supposed to be talking to you.
Don't worry, I won't tell the police. And I won't tell your father either, because we're just having a chat. Having a chat is just being friendly, isn't it?
I don't do chatting.
Do you like computers?
Yes, I like computers. I have a computer in my bedroom.
I know. I can see you sitting at your computer sometimes when I look across the streets.
I also like looking after Toby, outer space, doing maths, and being on my own.
I bet you're really good at maths, aren't you?
Yes, I'm supposed to be taking A-level maths next month.
A-level maths? Really?
Yes, I don't tell lies.
I apologize. I didn't mean to suggest that you were lying. I just wanted to make sure that I heard you correctly. I'm a little deaf sometimes.
I remember you told me. I'm the first person in my school to take A-level maths because I go to a special school and everybody else in my school is stupid. Except I'm not meant to call them that, even though that's what they are.
Well, I'm very impressed, and I do hope you get an A star.
I will.
And the other thing I know about you is that your favorite color is not yellow.
No, and it is not brown either. My favorite color is red and metal color. Do you know anything about Mr. Shears?
No, I don't. I mean, I knew him well enough to say hello.
Father said that he was an evil man. Do you know why he said that?
Christopher, perhaps it would be best not to talk about these kind of things.
Why not?
Because maybe your father's right and you shouldn't go around asking questions about this.
Why?
Because obviously he's going to find it quite upsetting.
Why would he find it quite upsetting?
I think you know why your father doesn't like Mr. Shears very much.
Did Mr. Shears kill Mother?
Kill her?
Yes, did he kill Mother?
No, of course he didn't kill your mother.
Or did he give her stress so that she had to go to hospital?
Did she have to go into hospital?
Yes, and it wasn't very serious at first, but then she had a heart attack in hospital.
Oh my goodness.
And she died.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Christopher, I'm so sorry. I never realized.
Why did you say, I think you know why your father doesn't like Mr. Shears very much?
So you don't know?
Don't know what?
Christopher, look, perhaps we should take a little walk in the park together. This isn't the place to be talking about these kind of things. Oh, your mother. Dear. I'm going to say something to you, and you must promise not to tell your father.
Why?
And if I don't explain now, you'll go on wondering what I meant. And I don't want you to ask your father because I don't want you to upset him.
Why not?
Your mother and Mr. Shears were very good friends before she died.
I know.
No, Christopher, I'm not sure that you do. I mean that they were very, very good friends.
Do you mean that they were doing sex?
Yes, Christopher, that is what I mean. I apologize, Christopher. I didn't mean to say anything that was going to upset you.
Is that why Mr. Shears left Mrs. Shears? Because he was doing sex with another woman even though he was married?
Yes, I expect so.
I think I should go now.
Are you okay, Christopher?
I'm not supposed to be talking to you. You are a stranger.
I'm not a stranger, Christopher. I'm a friend.
You were a long time.
That's because I went to the store and I bought a licorice and a Milky Bar.
Ah. Okay then.
And Mrs. Alexander was outside of the store and she had a dog and I pet him and he sniffed my trousers.
So you do get the third degree, huh, Christopher? So how's it going, Captain?
I'm very well, thank you, Audrey.
What's 261 times 864?
216,851. Is that right?
I haven't got the bloody clue.
I'll stick one of the origami fact things in on for you. Is that okay?
But you little bottle of red paint in there, huh, Christopher?
It's not red paint, Audrey. It's red food colouring because I don't eat yellow food. If I was to put red paint into a curry, it'd be very dangerous and would probably kill me.
Roger, you plonker!
Have you told your father about this?
No.
Are you going to tell your father about this?
I don't know.
Did it make you sad to find out, Christopher?
Find out what?
Did it make you sad to find out about Mr. Shears and your mother having an affair, Christopher?
No.
Are you telling the truth, Christopher?
Yes, I always tell the truth. It didn't make me sad because Mother is dead and Mr. Shears is gone, so I'd be being sad about something that doesn't exist and I would be stupid.
What is this?
It's a book I'm writing.
Is it true? Did you speak to Mrs. Alexander?
Yes.
Christopher, how stupid are you? What did I tell you, Christopher?
Not to go mentioning Mrs. Shears and not to go mentioning Mrs. Shears' not to go mentioning Mrs. Shears' name in the house. Not to go asking Mrs. Shears or anybody else who killed that bloody dog. Not to go trespassing onto other people's property and to stop this bloody ridiculous detective game. Except having done any of these things, I was just talking to Mrs. Alexander because we were doing chat.
Don't give me that bollocks! Christopher, you knew exactly what you were bloody doing. Come on. What else did I say?
I don't know.
Come on, memory man! Not to go around sticking your nose into other people's business. And what do? You stick your nose into other people's business, rigging up the past and sharing it with every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
I was just doing chatting. I wasn't doing an investigating.
I asked you to do one thing for me, Christopher. One thing.
It was Mrs. Alexander who came to talk to me. I did not talk to her.
Christopher? Christopher, I'm sorry I hit you. I didn't mean to, Christopher. Christopher, you have to understand that I worry about you. I don't want to see you getting into trouble. I don't want to see you getting hurt. Christopher, do you understand that I love you, son?
Where's my book?
Do you understand that I love you, son?
Is it in the dustbin in front of the house?
Christopher? Why have you got that bruise on your face?
Father and I got into a fight.
Did he grab you hard?
Yes.
Are you frightened to go home, Christopher?
No, because I have to find my book.
Are you telling the truth, Christopher? You want to talk about it any longer?
No, because grabbing is okay, as long as it's not on the hair or in the face. But hitting is not allowed, unless you've already been in a fight before, and then it's not so bad.
When I got home from school, Father was still at work, so I went outside and looked inside the dustbin.
But the book wasn't there.
I
I wondered if Father had put it into his van and driven it to the tip and put it into one of the big bins there, but I did not want that to be true because then I would never see it again. One other possibility was that Father had hidden it somewhere in the house. So, I decided to do some detecting to see if I could find it.
So I started by searching under the kitchen. Then I detected in the utility room.
And then I detected in the dining room.
Then I detected in the living room where I found the missing wheel from my Airfix Saturn 1B Rocket 172 model under the sofa.
Yes!
Then I went downstairs, but I didn't do any detecting in my own room because I reasoned that Father wouldn't hide something from me in my own room unless he was doing a double bluff, like in a real murder mystery novel. So I decided to look in my own room, only to see if I could find the book anywhere else. I detected in the bathroom, but the only place to look was in the admin cupboard, and there was nothing in there.
Which meant that the only room in the house to look for was Father's room.
So I began by searching under the kitchen.
Then I looked in his clothes cupboard. In the bottom of the cupboard was a large plastic toolbox which was full of tools for doing it yourself. But I could see these without opening the box because it was made of transparent grey plastic. Then I saw that there was another box under the toolbox.
The other box was an old cardboard box called a shirt box because people used to buy shirts in them.
And when I opened the shirt box, I saw my book was inside it. Then I heard his van pulling up outside the house, and I knew I had to think fast and be clever. I heard Father shutting the door of the van, and that is when I saw the envelope. It was an envelope addressed to me, and it was lying under my book in the shirt box with some other envelopes. I picked it up. It had never been opened. It said,
Christopher Boone, 36 Randall Street, Swindon, Wiltshire.
Then I noticed there were lots of envelopes and they were all addressed to me. And this was interesting and confusing. And then I noticed how the words Christopher and Swindon were written. They were written like this.
Christopher Swindon.
I only know 3 people who do little circles instead of dots with the letter I. And one of them was Siobhan. And one of them was Mr. Locksley, who used to teach at the school. And one of them was Mother.
451C, Chapter Road, London, NW25NG. 020-888-8907. Dear Christopher, I'm sorry it's been such a very long time since I wrote my last letter to you. I've been very busy. I've been working as a secretary for a factory that makes things out of steel. You'd like it a lot. The factory is full of huge machines that bend and cut the steel to whatever shapes you need. Also, we moved into new flats, as you can see in the last address. It's not as nice as the old one, and I don't like Wilson very much. But it's easier for Roger to get to work, and he's bought it so we can paint the walls the color we want to, and get our own furniture. You haven't written to me yet, so I know that you're probably still angry with me. I'm sorry, Christopher, but I still love you, and I'd really love it if you were able to write me a letter. But remember to send it to the new address. I think about you all the time. Lots of love. Your mom.
Then I saw another envelope. This was the letter inside.
451C, Chapter Road, London, NW25NG. Dear Christopher, I was looking through some old photos last night, which made me sad. Then I found a photo of you playing with the trace that we bought for you a couple Christmases ago, and that made me really happy because it was one of the really good times we had together. I liked remembering that a lot. So you remember once when we were shopping in town together and we went into Bento's and it was really crowded. And I remember we had to get a Christmas present for Grandma, and I got cross because I don't like shopping at Christmas either. And I remember that you crouched down on the floor and you put your hands over your ears, and you knocked those mixers off the shelf, and then there was a really big crash. I was at the end of my tether because I had to pay for 2 broken mixers, and I had to wait until you stopped screaming and pick you up and move you all the way because I knew you wouldn't go on the bus again. I often thought, Christopher, your father's really patient, but I'm not. I get cross even though I don't mean to, and by the end we stopped talking to each other very much because we would always end up in an argument, and I felt really lonely.
And that was when I started spending lots of time with Roger.
And that was when I started spending lots of time with Roger. And I know you might not understand any of this, but I wanted to try and explain so that you knew.
We had a lot in common, and then we realized we were in love with one another.
I said that I couldn't leave you, and he was really sad about that. But he understood that you were really important to me.
And you started to shout, and I got cross, and I threw the food across the room, which I know I shouldn't have done.
You grabbed the chopping board, and you threw it, and it hit my foot and broke my toes.
And afterwards at home, your father and I had a huge argument.
And I couldn't walk properly for 2 months. Do you remember, Christopher? And your father had to look after you.
And I remember looking at the 2 of you and seeing you together and thinking how you were really different with him, much calmer.
And at the end, I was really sad. Because it was like you didn't need me anymore.
And I think then I realized you and your father were probably better off if I wasn't living in the house.
And that was when Roger asked me if I wanted to come with him.
And it broke my heart, but eventually I decided it would be better off for all of us if I went.
And so I did.
And I meant to say goodbye.
But when I rang your father, he said that I couldn't. He was really angry. He said that I couldn't.
He said I couldn't talk to you.
And I didn't know what to do.
He said I was being selfish and that I would never set foot in the house again.
And so I haven't.
I wonder if you can understand any of this. I know it would be difficult for you.
I thought what I was doing was the best for all of us.
Christopher.
I hope it is.
I never meant to hurt you.
Loads and loads of love. Your mom.
Christopher? It was an accident. I don't know what to say. I told you your mother was in hospital because I didn't know how to explain to you. It was too complicated, and once I said that, it couldn't be changed. Look, maybe I shouldn't be saying this right now, but Christopher, I want you to know that you can trust me. Christopher, you have to know that you can trust me. Because if you don't tell the truth now, later on it hurts even more. So, I killed Wellington. Just let me explain, please. When your mom left, Eileen, Mrs. Shears, she was very good to me. She helped me get through a very difficult time, Christopher. And I thought, maybe I was being stupid. I thought we would move her house, or that she might move into ours. Christopher, I thought we were friends. I guess I thought wrong. We argued, Christopher. And she said some things I'm not going to repeat to you because they're not nice. Anyways, when it got in, she slammed the door right behind me, and the little bugger was waiting for me. I know. Maybe if I'd just given it a kick, it would have backed off with Christopher. Christopher, when the red mist comes out, you know what I'm talking about. You're not that different, you and I, Christopher. Christopher, it was like everything I've been bottling up for 2 years just... I never meant for it to turn out like this. Okay, look. Let's just leave this for tonight, okay? You get some sleep, and I'm going to go downstairs. Everything's going to be alright. Honestly, trust me.
One, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 18.
Father had murdered Wellington, which meant he could murder me. I had to get out of the house. I did this by thinking of all the things I could do and deciding whether they were the right decision or not.
Stay home.
I decided I couldn't stay home anymore.
Christopher, please.
No, I can't live with you because it's too dangerous. And I can't stay with you because you can't look after me when school ends.
I would try and...
No, because you're a teacher.
Yes.
Not a friend, no member of my family.
You can go and stay with your Uncle Tammy.
No one in Sunderland, I don't know how to get to Sunderland.
Take the train from the
And you smoke cigarettes and you play my hair. You're not a friend either.
I think I'm a friend.
No, and you're not a member of my family.
Do you have a dog?
Yes, but I can't stay overnight at your house or use your toilet because you've used it and you are a stranger.
You're a stranger, Christopher.
Yes!
451C, Chapter Road, London.
NW25NG. 451C, Chapter Road, London. NW25NG. 451C, Chapter Road, London. NW25NG.
451C, Chapter Road, London, NW2, 5NG.